Here are my top 5 grilling beginner mistakes and practical solutions on how to address those. Stick around and we'll get right into it. Hey team, it's Scott from Bartlow's BBQ and I'm doing a barbecue giveaway of my barbecue bundle, which is 2 rubs and a barbecue sauce, sweet red dirt, all-purpose, Dust Bowl garlic butter rub, and then a cherry barbecue sauce called Heartland Hickory. And all you got to do is watch this video to the end for the word that's going to come on the screen that you need to comment, and then we're going to let this giveaway go for 1 full week. We'll do a random drawing and let you know if you are the winner. So appreciate the support, but you do need to like and subscribe as part of that entry, and we so appreciate the support. The first mistake I see beginners make is having a dirty grill. You may not think this is a big deal, but having a gas grill, a ceramic, a kettle, a pellet, an offset, it really doesn't matter. Basic maintenance and cleaning will be the solution to having a really good cooking experience, because the issue with a dirty grill is most often you can have flare-ups from the previous cook if it's on a gas grill and you didn't scrape all the things and your heat deflectors on a Kamado Joe, or the heat shield on a gas grill, or if you don't vacuum out all the ash from your pellet grill, just to name a few, or scrubbing those grill grates. You're going to have a dirty grill is going to have kind of a dirty result, if you will. And so the simple solution is just, no matter what your grill is just do a basic cleaning on the outside. I'm less concerned on the outside for you, more concerned about cleaning on the inside. Now, some people say certain things are flavor, and you know, over time, you don't want all that crud that gets built up from your previous cook hitting that clean and that next meat that you've got going on the grill. So clean those grill grates. I've got a few different solutions you can use, but one of my favorite ones is the Grill Rescue. You just get this with water. It's got a little razor. You can get the grill grates going, and then when the grill is hot, you can, this is made by a firefighter, you can scrub this off and get everything off your grill grates. And then just a basic scraper really does the job on the inside, or the inside of the lid of a Kamado Joe or your kettle. I'm not too worried about certain spots, but you mainly are just looking like on the top of your lid. I'm mainly looking at the grill grates, the drippings on your heat deflectors or your deflectors on your gas grill that help kind of promote even cooking. You want to look for that just residual stuff that might be there, but also on a pellet grill, you know, removing the your ash from your Kamado, but also removing any of the excess or fat that from all the drippings from your drip pan. You want to remove all that, clean it out, and replace it with new things. This will help you have a really clean cook and prevent possible issues by having a dirty grill, and you'll have a really good experience. And also, just by cleaning the outside, you could use kind of the green off, I forget the technical the name of it, of spraying your like kind of a nice grill on the outside, but really most often just a damp cloth and some warm water and soap will do the job on most grills. And then having a grill cover really helps when you're out in the elements and you don't have a pergola like this or a covered patio. So those are a few solutions to having addressing a dirty grill that will help you have a better experience as a beginner. The second mistake I see beginners make is cooking to time versus internal temperature. And this is a really big deal, because if you're cooking to time, every protein or piece of meat, depending on what you're cooking, like a brisket, is going to vary from purchase to purchase. And you know, you got a 15-pound brisket, cooking to internal temperature is going to ensure you that you actually cook it to completion. You know, the common thought is cooking to time is like a pound for every hour and every hour for every pound. But you really want to cook to internal temperature, no matter if it's a low and slow cook or if it's a hot and fast and grilling steaks, to ensure that you are getting that sweet, perfected end result, no matter what you're cooking, from chicken to beef, having that internal temperature is going to matter the most. And then you get the hang of it over time, and you begin to sense how long things are going to take once you do it. But as a beginner, and even as someone that would consider themselves a backyard pitmaster and help teach classes, I still use a internal temp using a thermometer. And that's the solution, is use a wireless or a thermometer to help you gauge cooking to temperature and not time, because every meat is different and every result's going to be different based on how the weight of the meat it is and what you're cooking, low and slow or hot and fast. So that is the solution, is cooking to internal temperature to get the best result. And get yourself a really nice thermometer. There's a lot out there. I have a few in my description for you to consider. The next mistake I see beginners make is cutting into the meat to see if it is done. Is it undercooked? Is it overcooked? Totally a rookie mistake, but don't feel bad about it. We all do it when we first start, unless we got these tips, right? So here's the deal. By cutting into it, you're letting all the juices flow out, and also it might be not ready, and you totally kind of misdirect the cook depending if it's low and slow, hot and fast, no matter what you're cooking. So you want to use a thermometer. So pros do this, pitmasters do this, I use this. No matter what you're doing, use a thermometer to check the doneness of your meat. This is going to help you have a great experience and get to the end result that you're looking for without ruining what you're cooking. The next beginner mistake I see is not using multi-zones for cooking. So if you're using a gas grill, a charcoal grill, a ceramic grill, which uses that, this is where it gets super dynamic. If you're just going to cook on one side, you're missing out on the features that gives you versatility to do some really fun things like reverse searing a steak. And if you're using a gas grill, you turn off the burner on one side and you have it on medium to high in the other, and you put the protein or the steak or chicken on one side that has no fire, and you're letting it come up to temperature, and then you're bringing up the temperature on the other side when it gets to the internal temperature that you're looking for, and you're searing it. Same thing on a Kamado Joe or ceramic grill. That they call it the divide and conquer system, where you're able to have multi-zones of cooking and putting veggies lower while you're cooking your meat up top, where there's a heat deflector underneath, and you're letting it come up to temperature, and then you're searing it. But then you can use multiple zones for cooking vegetables at the very same time, and then flipping it as well. There's a lot of ways to use grills, and having multi-zone cooking is going to give you a lot of dynamic opportunities and some creative ways to cook food and maximize your grill. So by cooking in one zone, you're missing an opportunity to have some really great food on your grill. All right, the last tip is not resting your meat. A lot of these tips kind of come together, but these are things I want to call out specific as you are a beginner. So here's the deal. When you allow your meat to rest, if it's a steak to a brisket or a pork butt, and even chicken sometimes, is that you want to retain all the juices that are building up inside after doing that low and slow or hot and fast cook. And all that juices is just going to make it more, it's tenderizing it, it's making it more flavorful. And again, by cutting into it or not letting it rest, it's going to just simply not maximize its full flavor. So on a brisket, minimally letting it rest for an hour. A lot of places do 2 hours to 12 hours, if not longer. Now, restaurants do that because they have to, but this also because it allows all the tenderness to come falling apart when you're pulling apart that brisket. Same thing is true for steak. Letting it rest for at least 10 minutes, depending on the thickness of it. If it's thinner, maybe you can go less. But 5 to 10 minutes resting your steak is going to do the same process of tenderizing it, making it more juicy and also more flavorful. And so just cutting right into it afterwards, you want to give a chance for all that gelatin to come together and melt off, so it makes it more tender. And also kind of part of this is when you get to cutting your meat, cutting against the grain versus with the grain is also something that you want to be doing, because that's going to make it a tender slice, pull apart whenever you're slicing your meat. Here is a bonus mistake, but this is specifically to those that have charcoal grills, not reusing your charcoal. That's a common question I get. Can you reuse your charcoal from a previous cook? The answer is yes, especially if you're using lump charcoal. Specifically if you're using lump. If you're using briquettes, most of the time it just goes to ash. So, but if it's lump charcoal and the way it's forged and made, you're going to have the ability to have leftover charcoal to be able to do direct grilling or low and slow smoke. You might need to add a few more lumps in there for the next cook, depending on if it's a longer cook or a shorter cook. But 100%, I've been using and reusing lump charcoal for the next cook, and that is a mistake I see, is not using and just dumping it out. You definitely want to reuse it. It maximizes your resources and still a great experience. All right, friends, I hope these tips were helpful for you as a beginner grilling or doing barbecue. Be sure to comment this word, barbecue bundle, to enter the giveaway that I talked about in the beginning of the video. And then I'll do a random name drawing in a week from this video being posted. And then I'll contact you, give you 24 hours. If I don't hear from you, then I'll go on to the next person. So appreciate you subscribing and watching the channel, and hope these tips, and check out the playlist on grilling that will help you amplify your backyard cooking and grilling. And from my backyard to yours, less hate, more love, good barbecue. Till next time.